Okay, today we're going to talk about simple interest. So if you will label the next page in your table of contents, simple interest. And if you'll take the handout that I gave you, and we're going to glue it in on that page. You should have some glue on your table. Go ahead and glue it in for me. Remember, make sure that you're putting a title on your pages and your page number. That way, whenever you use it on quizzes or when you need to study, you have the right page. So this is called simple interest. And interest is something that is very, very real world experience, something that you will use in your real life because it talks about money, and you for sure will be working with money. Okay? So I've given you a real world word problem. We're going to talk about some of the vocabulary and talk about interest and the formula. Okay? So if you borrow money from a bank, you pay interest to the bank for the use of the money. So basically, instead of you going to a friend and borrowing $1, you just give them $1 back. The bank, this is how they make money, this is how they stay in business, is they charge you to lend you the money. Okay? If you deposit money in the bank pays you interest for the use of your money. Interest, which this is an important word, interest is a fee that is paid for the use of money. So if I loan you some money, if I'm not a friend, if I'm a business, I will charge you to use that money. Now, people might do this because maybe they're afraid a loan won't be good. Maybe they won't get their money back. There are lots of reasons that people charge interest. When you buy a car, you pay interest because you take a loan. When you buy a house, some people have to put stuff on credit card, so credit card companies charge interest. So this is something you'll definitely, that will be useful to you. Okay? So interest is the fee that you pay for the money. So let's look at our problem here. Matt James borrows $10,000. Now this is the amount of money that he needs. This is called principal. Now usually a word problem, if we're talking about in math, doesn't say the principal is whatever, whatever. But usually in a word problem it's talking about you going to the bank and borrowing money. You buying a house and you borrowed money. So when you see borrow money, that's going to be your big indicator that you're looking for principal. Okay? So we're borrowing $10,000 for 5 years. So years is going to be our time at a yearly interest rate of 4.5%. So this is our rate. Okay? The question wants to know how much total interest will he pay? Well, in real life, most people when they borrow a loan and they want to know how much they're going to have to pay, they go online and you can find an online loan calculator, an interest calculator, or you just let the people who are loaning you the money plug the information in. On the STAR test, you will have this formula, and this is new this year to 7th grade and 8th grade. You will have the formula, I equals PRT. Well, we just talked about the P, the R, and the T. What do you think the I stands for? Interest. I-N-T-E-R-E-S-T, interest. Okay, so this is how we find our interest. So let's look at the problem we have. We know that we're borrowing $10,000, which is the principal. I'm going to write the formula so I make sure to plug in the right information. The $10,000 goes under principal. Now these numbers don't have a symbol between them, so that means that we are multiplying. So 10,000. Now I have 5 years. If you come down here at time, this is super important. You want to make sure you realize time is always in years. So does that mean you can never borrow anything for less than a year? No, it just means you'll have to find a fraction or a decimal, and we'll do an example like that. Okay? So let's do this problem first. $10,000 for 5 years, so that's going with time. And now we have our rate. Our rate is 4.5, but right here where it says rate, we need to make a note. Our rate always has to be in decimal form. So to go from a rate or a percent to a decimal, remember you divide by 100 or you just move the decimal 2 places. So 4.5% as a rate would be 0.045. So we're not going to multiply 4.5, we're going to multiply 0.45. And now that we have 3 numbers, we're just going to multiply them together. And remember, you get to use your calculator on STAR, so make sure that we're in the good habit of practicing with our calculator. Make sure that you put in the decimal form, not the percent form. And when you multiply, you should get $2,250. So $2,250 is the interest. That's how much money it cost you to borrow $10,000. But the question says, how much total interest will he pay? Oh, that is the answer to the question. I'm sorry. But what if the question asked, how much total will he be paying to borrow $10,000? If the question wanted to know that, you would add the original amount that he borrows, which he will be paying back, plus the $2,250. So this total loan is going to cost him $12,250. It's not very hard. Just like area, perimeter, you use your formulas. So this formula will be on the test that we're taking on Friday. It will be on the STAR chart. And again, most people in real life just go online to an online loan calculator. You can Google it and check one out for yourself if you want. Okay, let's do one more. Let's pretend that my principal, or the amount that I'm borrowing, is $50,000. And I'm going to be paying this $50,000 back. Let's say I'm buying a fancy new car. I'm going to make it a 5-year payment. Okay? And my interest rate is going to be 2.7 because I have pretty good credit. And we'll talk more about credit later. Ways to get good credit. So I'm going to use my formula. I equals PRT. Interest, which I don't know yet, equals the principal, which is $50,000, times the rate, which is 0.027, times the year, which is 5. And again, I'm going to plug this into my calculator. And my answer is going to be, I'll be paying $6,750 in interest. And that's all there is to interest. Use your formula, plug in what you know. The 2 big tricks are to make sure that your time is in years, not months, and to make sure that you change your rate to a decimal.